Folks, we are back. The Breakdown Boys, me, Sensei. But today we have a special guest, Sensei. He is the man that strikes fear into every KSI fan's heart when his name is uttered. They say Pussabi, but his name is Wassabi. It is none other than the killer of Showstar himself, Alex Wassabi's in the building. Alex, what's up, man?
What's up? How are you, boys? It's been a while.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. Well, let's just start here because we haven't talked to you in a while. How is life going, man? I know you've recently taken a girl. You know what I'm saying? You got you a girl. You happy? You healthy? How's life, man?
It's going good. Yeah, I got. I think I found the one.
Hey. Okay.
Whoa, yes.
I had a lot of family in town for Thanksgiving, and then
Nice.
recently, so I just going to the airport a lot recently.
Yeah.
And then I threw my brother a late bachelor party.
Oh.
So
Oh, nice. Bachelor party. Man's been living.
I missed it before the wedding, so I had to do it after. And then I invited a bunch of like childhood friends and stuff, and we got a dope Airbnb, and I might have scored a little bit.
If you got it, flaunt it, man. Might as well, right? If you got it, you might as well flaunt it.
Supposed to.
Yeah, bro.
Well, with my brother's bachelor party, I was like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Me and David are gonna spar," and he was like, "For what?"
Ooh.
"Gladiators for you." And he was like, "What? Okay."
Oh
So
my gosh.
one of my main, he was like a friend of mine, but he was like a bully of mine too when I was little because he would always beat me up because he did MMA. So I got my
Now the bully gets bullied. Where Alex is from, the bullies get bullied, bro. Well, speaking of, man, let's talk about a little bit of a bullying situation. No, that's a terrible transition. But let's look back, man. The last time we talked to you in person or last time I talked to you in person, we were getting ready for the KSI fight. You know what I mean? You were on the right track. You were preparing accordingly over at Brian Valoria's Brick House in Los Angeles. Let's just take a look back at that entire situation. I know you don't want to rehash everything, but going back to everything that happened, you know, what I guess was in your mind the best thing to take away from the whole, well, you know, you had the concussion and people were questioning you. Was there anything good to take away from what happened in that KSI situation?
Well, I was just in a weird predicament because it's like going against the most popular kid in school. Like nobody's gonna believe the guy
Facts.
and the popular kid says. So like it was just hard because I could say anything and people would be mad. If I didn't, people would be mad. And like I did that poll where I was like, "Oh, who should I fight next?" And I was like, "He didn't put KSI on there."
Yeah, you were damned if you did, damned if you didn't in that situation.
Yeah.
Like
but I learned a lot boxing wise. I learned a lot. I went really hard. I was like getting up at 6 a.m. and doing runs with the other pros and sparring, but I learned that weight classes are important. So
yeah.
I was like, I forgot I was fighting like guys that were like 190, 200 pounds because I'm naturally like 165, but I was trying to go up in weight.
Mm-hmm.
You know that my opponent was going to come in at a certain weight, which is heavier than me, but then he was also going to balloon up a little bit. So I had to fight for that heavy when I was my weight. So that plus that equals concussion.
Yeah. I think that was the hard part for people to realize is that you know, that was another thing that really no one talked about, like how you would have gotten a concussion. People don't realize that, again, in our scene, we're having guys basically fight in these spars to try to get ready for a fight because you're cramming so much education and learning into a couple of months at a time, right? It's not like you have 16 years to learn this sport. So combining that with the fact that you're already, you know, coming up in weight and sparring cruiserweights essentially, which I was in that gym. I saw some of the guys you were sparring and some big boys in there and they could throw, they can move around and throw. So, I think that it was a completely overblown situation. It is what it is. But what I do want to ask you, and Sensei, I want to get your thoughts on this too. Do you guys think, for you specifically, Alex, that it could have been a blessing in disguise because now you're seeing what KSI is getting to do with some of these other opponents but also you have some opportunities on the table here. I want to ask, one, do you think it's a blessing in disguise that it didn't happen? And two, do you think that maybe we can still circle around to this KSI fight, or do you think that one's gone?
I am definitely down to circle back to it, but he just I forgot, we exchanged on Twitter, and I was like, oh, I'll see you back in the ring one day, and he was like, nope, you lost.
He shut it down. Yeah.
Like, all right, but he's the type to like keep it going. But if we don't have a fight, then I have no problem with you. So I'm just like,
right.
But if you ever need somebody to fight, then I'm down. I'm down to get back in the ring. Preferably not 185 or 180 or whatever we're at.
Yeah, try to come down a little bit.
Right.
Sensei, your thoughts, man? Do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean,
what's next for Alex here?
Because I mean, in the scene, it's insane. Like in combat sports, like people have injury, fights get postponed all the time. But it's just like in this influencer community, it's insane to think. Like, how long ago was this fight?
It was supposed to have been in August.
It was supposed to be in August, right? So, but it feels like even Alex Wassabi is your name is actually in the mix with a lot of hitters right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like his name has been forgotten because of the whole KSI thing happened. All of a sudden they forget about you. But I feel like one fight away, all of a sudden you make a big statement, you're right back in the mix. So I have a question. Have you felt like you've been ignored? You know, because it was an injury. It's not like you lost. So like you still beat Deji, right? Deji has gone on to do things. Do you feel like you've been forgotten? Do you feel like you have something to prove, you know, that people have forgotten about you and haven't talked about you as much?
In my opinion, they're still talking about me a lot. I still get a lot of tweets. I still get mentioned in videos and everything, and Instagram posts and all these boxing things. Which I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I think in the YouTube boxing world, you can take a break and come back, or like if you get injured, you gotta deal with the hate. It doesn't matter who you are. Even Slim, he's like killing, and I'm sure he gets a bunch of hate. Dean had that crazy comeback. It was a tough fight, but he won it. And a W is a W, and he won it, and he still gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who you are or how long you haven't boxed. I think you're going to get hate either way. But if you love the sport, then get in there.
I think that Alex is onto something there too, though, Sensei. I've seen, you know, I'm on Twitter. I got Twitter fingers all day, bro. I'm on Twitter all the time.
I know.
And I've been trying to coach you up on it. We get you up on the Twitter. But I do see it, man. I see the people, like, it's this weird relationship that people have with Alex where, you know, they want to, like, not like what he's doing, and they're like, oh, he pulled out, he was afraid. But at the same time, you talk about like fights coming up in the next year, and Alex's name gets thrown around a lot. I think that people really do want to see Alex and see the progression. I think that they don't want to admit it to themselves, but they do want to see it.